Derek Jeter, number 2.
That hit defines Jeter. An opposite field single to win the game.
That is the beauty of Jeter.
Derek Jeter is a legend on the baseball field. Learn from his 10 rules of greatness that can help you in your life. Let's check him out.
You know, I prided myself on being prepared. The thing that makes me most uncomfortable in life is being unprepared. You hear athletes talk about the game slowing down. I think it slows down when you're prepared. And when you're caught off guard, that's when things tend to speed up. So obviously you have to work hard. You have to be accountable. You have to have the opportunity. Look, I was given a great opportunity by the Yankees, by the Steinbrenner family, to not only start my career in New York, but to play my entire career in New York. But, I prided myself on being prepared. I was drafted when I was 17. I left the day after my 18th birthday. And really the only time I've been away from home was when I went to see my grandparents in New Jersey.
Right.
So here I was going from Michigan down to Florida, Tampa, Florida, and struggling for the first time because I never really struggled before.
What was the struggle?
I got there and I was completely overmatched, playing against the best players in the world, and constant phone calls at night, crying every night, being away from home, homesick. But I didn't give up. I kept fighting, kept battling, and anytime I struggled from that point forward, I always used to say to myself, well, it's not as bad as when I first started. So you need to experience success, but I think more importantly, you need to experience failure.
You really expect this team
I expect
as
this team
presently
to
configured
compete.
to contend.
To compete.
Compete is one thing. Compete is one thing.
Right, but
Watch my lips. Not compete.
I see your
Contend.
I see your lips. I've been seeing them this whole interview. I see your lips moving constantly. But when you have the mindset of a player, these are the mindsets you should have every single day. Every single day you compete. You never tell your players that you are expected to lose. You don't do that. You should take that as a slap in the face. As a player, you should take that as a slap in the face. So I think the biggest thing is you just try not to put too much pressure on yourself. I think the more pressure you put on yourself, the quicker things get. I think you just try to be calm. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful. I've failed a lot more times than I've succeeded, but I'm not afraid to be in those situations. One thing in my career that stayed with me the entire 20 years is I was not afraid to fail. You know, I have failed plenty. I failed in spring training, I failed in regular season, I failed in the postseason, the World Series, but I'm not afraid of it. And, I've always had the ability to separate one day from the next. And, I don't know if that's something that's innate or if it's something that you learn, but I always looked at that as being a strong point because you can't play our sport, and more importantly, you can't play in New York if you're not mentally strong. And you will be tested because there are expectations, there are responsibilities, and there's pressures here. But I was just never afraid to fail. It's what we enjoyed. It's how we bonded as a family, and quite frankly, it's how I got better. But it was more than just practice. It was the lessons that my parents taught me. Mom, you taught me any dream is attainable as long as you work harder than anyone else. You drilled that in my head over and over and over, and you led me to believe it. You told me never to make excuses. You wouldn't allow me to use the word can't. You show up to work, you stay positive, good things will happen, and ultimately it's going to rub off on other people. Dad, you've been the voice of reason. You taught me to be patient, listen and think before I speak. You've always been there for advice, and to this day, you're the first person I go to. I know when I retired, you said you played every game with me. And I know you recall, from time to time telling me, you keep building that resume, right? And look where it's gotten us today. You have to win here. That's the bottom line is what have you done lately? We were able to accomplish a lot of good things early on. We've been in the postseason every year so far, but the bottom line is when you're competing, you want to win. I mean, that's why you're out there. Finishing second, finishing third, going to the postseason is not good enough. And I think everyone should have that mentality. When you go into a season, you win a championship or it doesn't mean anything.
Have you always had that kind of mentality, even before you got to New York? Or did it?
No question. No, I was younger. I always wanted. My dad used to beat me at everything we did.
He wouldn't let you win?
No, he wouldn't let me win. So now I don't let anyone else win. So
You know, I've always had that mentality. It's pointless, from my point of view, if you're competing. You know.
Well, the script is there. The last page is in Derek's hands.
What's your message to kids nowadays that are playing sports, whether it's baseball or any sport? What's your message to the youth of today?
Have fun playing. You know, I think kids nowadays, they specialize in one particular sport at such an early age. You know, when I was younger, we used to go outside and play every game. Now you don't really see kids outside playing. They're all inside playing video games. You know, there's a time and place for everything, but I said go out, play as many sports as you can, be active, and enjoy yourself, have fun. I think you can't lose sight of the fact that it is a game, you're supposed to enjoy yourself.
I know that there's a lot of people that have much more talent than I do throughout the course of my career, not just now, throughout the course of my career, and I can honestly say I don't think anyone played harder. I don't. Maybe just as hard, but I don't think anyone had more of an effort. You know, every single day I went out there, I tried to have respect for the game and play it as hard as I possibly could. I did it here in New York.
Jeter. Meek deals. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter, where fantasy becomes reality. Did you have any doubt?
Really, I don't know how I played this game. I went up my first at bat. I forgot my elbow guard. I was throwing balls away. I was giving signs to Drew at second base, and there's no one on base. So I was all messed up. But I want to thank everyone here. I've said it time and time again. Thank you, Derek. And I'm thinking to myself, for what? You know, I'm just trying to do my job. So thank you guys.
Derek Jeter has done more things in his life than most of us can dream about. So adopting some of his behaviors will help you become more successful. It's really that simple. Success leaves clues, and his behaviors that he follows will help you become more successful. So in the comments below, tell me which rules resonate with you most, which rules you're going to adopt, and how they're affecting your life now and in the future. Let's get to work.